All right, what's going on? Hope you're all doing fantastic today. We're gonna get started on painting in a little bit. This is a painting I finished the other day. It is for sale as a print. We have this available as a print. Let's see, let's copy this to the clipboard. All right, let's see. Getting started, back to getting started again. Getting back to started to number one. Here we go. Back to one. We're gonna start a new painting. That's one thing I love about painting is, you're constantly starting back at like one. What's up, D? Happy day, D. So we're starting a new painting soon. But that's one wonderful thing about painting, everybody, is this idea that you're constantly starting back at one. I love that idea. I know not everyone likes to kind of have to reset their lives or start back from almost nothing, but every single painting you do is, built upon your previous experiences, but as you keep going and going and going, eventually, it really is just like starting at one or back to zero or like a little reset. It's great if you like the lifestyle of constantly living something new experiences, new ideas, etc., etc. But yeah, if that's not for you, then constantly starting a new painting probably isn't right. But sometimes, it's nice to have like refresh things. So I'm gonna put on some gloves here, and I'm gonna put on some gloves. All the supplies needed for painting. Gloves, your mind, your attitude, all of these things are important. But hey, as the title suggests today, the idea is that your dreams need you. Without you, your dreams can't do very much of anything. Therefore, you must be a vessel for your dreams, people. That is the wisdom for the day. All right, we're about to pop open some of our supplies here. And what's going on? Oh me paints. O to the me to the zoo. Paints. Oh me zoo is the painter. He's got a great painting he's working on. Some exciting times. Good times. I'm moving on to another painting. Omizu, I guess, is moving on soon too, because I hear you're almost finished with that painting. I saw it on Instagram. Yes, that's right. I can't keep up with your Instagram. Instagram's a wonderful place to keep up with things because, it's very concise. Hopefully very concise. But we're actually going to be working on this painting today. This painting is Dunzo. Actually, you know what? I did want to do one thing. Before I move on, I want to do one more thing to this painting. And that is paint up the sides. I want to paint up some of these sides here. We're going to use our black and just go into. Can everybody see? I just want to go into the sides. Go to the sides of the paint. You're not missing much. I'm just painting into the sides with a nice Nice dark color, nice black. Black is the way to go. And I can't actually see the top of this. Let me bring this down a little bit and see if I can. I need to do the top. Oh yeah, I have a lot of work to do up here. Yeah, let's just do the whole thing. Let me just put this back up and do the entire top. I'm gonna paint across here. Get a nice layer of paint right across the top. Nice creamy layer of paint. And it's great, I don't really have to match the color because, you know, we've got a nice dark color at the top. Ooh, this painting looks so much better in person. It's one of those paintings that I actually think looks better in person as opposed to out of person. But let me go across the bottom here. I'm going to need to go across the bottom. Let's see. We're going to go flip this around. We got to do this all across the top too. I don't mind if a little bit of paint is missing from the space, but you know, I definitely want to my goodness, Omizu's life masterwork in life. I don't know why I'm stuttering today. I stutter sometimes. When I was a kid, it took forever to teach me how to read because I would read so slowly. I would read like a robot. So I guess instead of saying it didn't take me long to read, I was able to sound out words, but it took me forever to like learn how to read smoothly. And maybe that's just because I didn't really know how the words flowed together. But I didn't really have like a stutter, but it was just like in order to get myself to read in a good way, in a smooth tone, it took me a long time to figure out how to do that. I don't know why. Maybe it's like a different form of a stutter. Like I would just talk really slowly. And I was a very slow reader. And why am I bringing this up right now? Oh yeah, because we were just talking about like my being slow speech, I guess. Why I'm stuttering right now. I don't have a stutter, but you know, I guess once in a while our language is imperfect. Can you believe that? Can you believe that I am imperfect? Can you believe that I too am a human being? Scout, what are you doing? Hey, Scout, get back. Scout, get your butt in here. Come in. Come here. My cat just ripped a bigger hole in our screen so he could fit outside of the gap. This cat is costing us. Alright, so impossible that I am human, yes. I am not a human being, I am a Martian from the wonderful words of Lil Wayne, one of the greatest rappers to ever live. I like Lil Wayne. He's very clever. Alright, we're just gonna pop this on for now. Danny! You know, Danny laughing. Oh no, you're not. Okay, my bad. I thought you were Laughing Girl R for some reason. You have very similar photos. But there's this other person who comes in here that goes by the name of Laughing Girl Art. And she has these videos up that I want to comment on, but YouTube doesn't allow me to do comments on shorts right now. For whatever reason, I have an issue with the YouTube Shorts comments. So I can't really comment on people's YouTube Shorts. But let's go like this. We're going to bring this, rotate this. This is a painting that we're going to be continuing on today. This is going to be one of my masterpieces, The Creation of Excellence. Yes, that's right, The Creation of Excellence. That's the title. That's the working title. Don't wear it out. Because we all know what these two iconic things are. We all know who Michael Jordan is, and we all know the Sistine Chapel painting. I feel like even if you're 5 years old, somehow you've been exposed to this content. Even if you're like 5 years old, you've probably been exposed. There's like a 10% chance 1 out of every 10 5-year-olds has been exposed to one of these two things, either Michael Jordan or the painting at the Sistine Chapel. Like, I think these are the two most recognized images, like, in existence, besides a Coca-Cola can. That's my next victim as far as artwork is concerned. Watch out, Coca-Cola. I'm gonna make you some artwork, Coca-Cola. That's right. Be aware, be ready. Maybe. No promise there. But here we go. Anyway, this might be is that a little high? This might be a little bit high. I'm bringing this down just a little bit. Let's drop this down. Drop it low. Drop it low. What's up, Scout? Alright, I got this brush. I'm going to clean it off because I'm not really going to use black anymore. Danny E, I better... Oh, Coca-Cola, you better sponsor me because Danny E says so. Danny E, the wise, has made the decision. Coca-Cola. So, some fun news, everybody. I did sell some prints of my current, my latest print drop that's available right now on this, if you tap that link, it goes to my eBay. I did sell some prints, which is very exciting. Had a little bit of a dry spell, but it's nice to sell another print. Canvas print. Somebody out there is an owner of the last painting that you just saw. Somebody out there is an owner of a canvas print that is arguably just as nice. The only difference is it's not the original. So anyway, I see a thing here. I don't know what the heck this is. What is that? Why did a little button shape get on my painting? What is this? I don't like that there. Someone must have put something onto this canvas. I don't know who it was. It wasn't me. Probably wasn't me. You know, when you live in an apartment with one other person, aka your partner, or it could be anybody, your brother, your sister, your grandmother, your roommate, whatever. You know, it's so interesting because there's really only one other person to blame And, you know, we all don't like to blame ourselves for anything. So the blame constantly falls on the other person when something goes wrong. And that's not, you know, I think a reasonable adult will be like, yeah, you know, I probably should accept fault for some things. But adults are human beings, and human beings love to blame other people for problems. So, you know, as a human being, that's what I do. I blame cat for everything. I blame either my cats or cat for everything. Cat is my partner. Blame her for everything. Just kidding. Don't blame others for things. Accept responsibility for what you do. If you want to live a good life, you got to accept responsibility. All right, so what are we going here? Got to grab some of our white. And I feel like I just need some white highlights with our pink. Let's go with some pink, some white highlights, and let's just try to capture some of the shape into this figure here. Just really want to just capture some of the highlight. Let's go down here with the white highlight. Maybe we can add some more of this. I think what they did was they painted the body first, and after they got the body, they just painted like cloth over it, which I think is the traditional way of painting. Is you know, you paint a body and then you just kind of design the cloth as like an after effect, you know? I definitely do not feel as if I have the current ability to paint this as good as Michelangelo did on a Sistine Chapel, all right? So if you're expecting me, I'm letting you know right now, if you're expecting me to paint as good as Michelangelo did on a Sistine Chapel, just giving you a warning that this is not going to be that dang good. All right? I did not spend my entire life mastering fresco painting and the fine art of painting epic religious figures. So, you know, and I do feel funny saying that. You know, I feel funny saying, having to remind people that this is not going to be as good as the actual Sistine Chapel, okay? It's like, obviously, like, you know, like, obviously that should be the case, right? Like, nobody is going to paint anything even nearly as good as what, you know, the greats did, aka Michelangelo, right? Nobody. Not one single person alive is going to do the Sistine Chapel better than Michelangelo. Because it's just like, you know, it's literally impossible. The fact that people have social media and are able to spend, you know, say, even 2 hours a day compared to 2 hours that they could have spent painting or making artwork, that is enough to differentiate a Michelangelo from, you know, a modern great talented painter. But yes, I am saying this somewhat facetiously, you know. I am saying this somewhat facetiously. Like, yeah, if you're expecting a tutorial on how to paint like Michelangelo, please. The course that I have to offer does not include that. I don't actually have a course. I'm just kind of joking about the modern internet trends where every artist is selling a course. So anyway, I should stop making jokes and saying things. All right. Where was I going with that? I don't really remember. I think I was just trying to make a point. Oh, I think what I'm trying to do is trying to protect myself from internet critics. Uh, the internet critics that would be like, "What, dude? That looks nothing like. You did a horrible job. That looks nothing like the Sistine Chapel painting." And obviously, I am not that good. Okay, but I will make a great effort to make this unique and make this reflective of who I am and my efforts. And I will put the time and the activity into making this look nice. So there we have that. But yes, this is not going to be totally the same as the original greatest artwork ever create one of the greatest artworks ever created. No, we're not. That is not the direction this will be. So here we go. Trying to find just bring in some color here, bring in some of the right color to place onto our canvas. And then we're gonna go pectorals right here. I think this is a bit wide. That's okay. And honestly, my technique is so off compared to where it needs to be, which is finally sketching out like every detail. Maybe if I just do the hand first. Let's see. I'm gonna add just a hint of orange here. Let's add a hint of orange across the top here. And yes, God does have some massive, massive hands. His hands are extraordinarily large compared to everything else. That's all right. Let's make it happen. Let's exaggerate. Or maybe it's not exaggerating. Maybe God does have some massive, massive pointer fingers. You never know. And I think what I have to do is I have to curve this finger a little bit. And here we go. And try to find some of these darker colors in his face. And try to find a good shade of yellow ochre. Around here. He needs some lips. And here we go. Let's get on this chest right here. And this baby's gonna have some color. There's so much detail in the eye though that I'm probably gonna have some struggle with, but let's go ahead and just lay down a little bit of a color in there. We'll do the eye later. Nose is gonna come around right there. Let's add some browns into here. I'm gonna go try to find a good ochre brown. Let's see. All right. This is going to go like this. I'm going to come down here a bit, and then we're going to come into his neck. Bring this down into his neck, into God's neck, the God of us all. A little bit white highlight right around the nose. Just get the shape of his face a little better. You can start to see the shape of how all this is going to come together, which is nice. Still some more work to do. Maybe a tremendous amount of work. We'll see. Let's grab this pink. We're just gonna go into it. Just want to give them a nice flat color at this point. Otherwise, it's just too much going on, and it's going to be way too confusing. Should have done like a really nice underpainting, but I didn't. So we're just going to have to pretty much make do, and then find our own form of expression somewhere along the way. Let's see, skin color, as far as skin tone is concerned, I can keep going with this color. I'll go with a pink. Grab this like skin tone. Let's see, we'll go across the top here with a hint of orange. Across the top with a hint of orange. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Open that up, bring that across. Use the white highlight to come down. And I'm going to go for a muddied color on the bottom. Just a little bit of a muddied color so that we can create a shadow. And this is going to go on the bottom of the leg here, right around here. And then let's see, I'm gonna have some shadow right in where the leg meets the tunic. I've been thinking about getting a tunic. What does everybody think? Is a tunic? Can people wear tunics nowadays, or is it weird? Is it too weird? Is a tunic too weird to wear? All right, let's get some more of the shadow color. I'm liking where the shadow color is taking us. So we can use this shadow color to brown out some of our areas. And And here we go. And we're gonna go with a little hint of red, just to paint this funny foot. This is a funny foot because it's not very highly defined. It's just very loosely painted, this foot. It's almost like an alien foot because it's only got like 2 toes. But this is one thing that I love about seeing all, going through studying some of the classics. Going through art that's like of the classic stuff is you see all these things where, if you try to look for a critique online, and they're like good teachers, good mentors, they'll know how to give you a good critique. There's like good critiques, and then you could tell like what critiques are like by people who are like maybe amateur artists. But if you were to put this section like right here of the actual Sistine Chapel painting, and you were to put it in front of like 100 people that didn't know what it was, you just put a little square around this foot right here, where my hand is, they'd be like, Pookie, do not put your butt in my painting. Alright, where was I? I was just saying that they would be like, yo, this foot looks so weird. Like, this foot has like 2 toes. It looks like he's wearing sandals. Like, it doesn't even look like a foot, because it's like deformed. But honestly, because it's a classic painting, no one, I guess at this point, no one really, it is what it is, right? But this wouldn't pass some people's filters. Some people would never allow this to pass this idea that this foot is like janky. So anyway, just a thought. Just thoughts. I usually ask for lots of internet critiques. Not all the time, because I like to, not so much for like, sometimes for educational purposes, but a lot of the times, like, people don't know how to give critiques, So I usually do it mostly for like entertainment, just to see what people say, like, really, I'm often curious about like what people actually pay attention to. And you can tell like the people who have given critiques before, it's usually, sometimes there's like people that get overly technical, and then there's people that, can look beyond the technical, and they're able to see the artwork for what it is, and then, share thoughts around the art that's actually pretty helpful. And, that's a little bit of a rarer person, but they exist. They are around. People who give good critiques, they exist. They're alive somewhere. So here we go. We got our yellow ochre here. Let's try to grab a nice yellow ochre. Grab some of this pink with our yellow ochre. And here we go. Maybe I should bring this a little closer. I'm done with that Michael Jordan figure for a little bit. Maybe if we get a little closer to what's going on here, we can actually see some of the effort. Let's see. So we need a little bit of a calf to come around. So And then let's go around the top of the cat. Oops, that's a shadow. Let's grab some more of this white. And grab our yellow. Mix that in over here to get some of our ochre. I want a brighter ochre here. We're going to try to go into here. Let's see how we can adjust this. So he's going to have a calf that comes down. And it's probably going to be about that same color here. As far as this study goes, my only goal, my main goal is to make it look good. But as far as the overall skill level of what I'm trying to, my technical skill level, I actually, like my paintings, but when I'm trying to do it modeled after, say, Michelangelo for the first time, I definitely have to accept. Can you believe that? Can you believe someone has to accept that they're not as good as Michelangelo? Disclaimer. But I have to accept that there is a huge, massive, ginormous, a lifetime's worth of a skill gap. And, I have to figure out how to mix that in without, while still making it look nice. I still want to make it look nice. So there's that. That's what I got to work on. But let's go with this pink. That's part of the effort here. We're going to go highlight down here along the leg, along the top of the leg right here. Also, one of the things that makes it harder for me is I refuse to use the traditional grid method. So because I refuse to use the grid method or to use a what's it called? What do they call it? Use the grid method or projector, or to do an image transfer so that I can just paint. I refuse to do that because I really like to see how my eye translates things, and because of that, I do have to deal with the consequences of people saying, anyone saying, oh well, that's not accurate. But either way, I am cool with my flaws. So there we go. All right, there's a lot of space here. It needs to be painted so I can kind of get this all together here. So let's get this little baby right here, and right there, and then his leg's gonna come up like so. Haha, here we go. Add one little dab of light around here. Some highlight there. Add some orange into here. And then let's see, do this back shape. And here we go. Let's go for a little bit of an orange pink right here in the belly. Actually, let's see. What's this right here? That's a leg. This is a leg. This is going to be an abdominal muscle. This little baby's face is just like red. So let's give this like a red overlay for this face. I'm just gonna give a nice little red overlay here. Just got a red face. I feel like this face was painted in as like an afterthought. They were like, hey, there's a little gap here. I feel like I need to fill it out. And that's why his head made it. So let's go like this. I'm gonna go with some darker, and then gray this out a little bit, gray out this red. And then darker. Let's see, this is like a ochre red. I think with this we can start to make a shadow out of it. So let's go. Got his body. His body's gonna cut off right around here, so we can work with this. We can start working with this right here. And this is a body. This is some cloth. Definitely gonna need some. That's not gonna be that dark, so that's okay. We're gonna leave that. And we're gonna come into here. There we go. And then we're gonna come out like this. And there we have that. Alright, this leg right here could come into this maybe a little later. We will add in our highlights into this section. Right now I just want to start getting the rest of these reds. Let's bring in a lighter shade right here, get a little bit of a mid color so we can get some of those in. And here we go. Go across the top here. And yes, but here we go. Like we're making some progress here. Some very exciting progress. I like where this is going. The idea's here, the idea's fleshed out. All it is a matter of execution at this point. So where's his feet? His feet kind of cut off right there. So basically I need to fill this in with the aerial space. And then this guy's legs kind of come down. Got to figure out what to do with this guy's legs. All right. Getting it better by better, better and better, day by day, every day in every way. We get better and better. Every day in every way. We get better and better, people. If you haven't heard that before, that's like a very famous saying that you use if you want to get better. Whatever, you know, if your life isn't going where you want it to be, or if you are struggling with something, or you know, you feel like you need something to improve on, or just in general, if you already are like a high performing person and you just need a nice little phrase to hold on to keep that performance up, you know. Every day in every way, I am getting better and better and better. It's a famous one. Look it up. I think it came from Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. He's a famous person, famous for something. Hey, I'm painting and streaming. What's up?
Okay, can you do a study from 6 to 9 at CBS on Beverly tomorrow?
6 to 9? Okay.
Yeah, $50 an hour.
Okay. Are you signing me up?
Eyeglasses. Okay, all right, I'll tell her yes. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thanks, babe. Bye. See ya. Every day in every way, I am getting better and better. When life gives you paint, make paintings. If life doesn't give you paint, then you gotta find something else, or you gotta go buy some. All right, so this needs to be a little softer. This little area right here. Maybe add a little highlight into here. How's this looking? It's looking okay. It's still, It's still, That's the sound I make when I don't like what I'm doing. Still, But it'll get better. If it doesn't, we'll just have to burn this painting. Maybe after many hours of work, I'll have to burn this painting. You know, that's the one thing about Banksy's artwork that he totally just like, or she or they. You know, everybody knows Banksy's artwork, the one that got shredded. The problem with Banksy of why I don't think they're legit is because that painting wasn't really like a good painting. It was just, you know, it was like the artwork wasn't good as far as like the whole idea is brilliant as far as art is concerned, as far as the art world is concerned. But there wasn't really like anything lost or gained as far as personal effort. Right? Like Banksy didn't invest that much time to make a stencil like what was it? Like it's like a stenciled, what's it called? A stenciled traced image, which, you know, Banksy uses stencils. Nothing wrong with stencils. Again, like I'm not criticizing the artist or the technique, but I am sharing my thoughts around, like, it's not like he painted a masterwork that took him, you know, 5 years and then he shredded it as a message to the people, right? It was more of a criticism of like how much people will spend on artwork, but there wasn't really anything lost or gained from Banksy's standpoint. But if Banksy had done something where, you know, Banksy could potentially have risked time or effort, that would have been more interesting to me. But whatever, we get it. I get it. You know, other people's time, other people's money. Justina, do 10 jumping jacks. 1, 2, 3, go. You know what? I will do some push-ups. Thank you for reminding me. I'm not gonna do jumping jacks, but I will do some push-ups. Let's see. Let's do some push-ups. Can you see? Let's try to bring this down. I'll do some push-ups right here on my floor. Hope my cat's still here. Did he escape? No. Here, you want to see a cat? What's up, Scout? I'm gonna show you to the world. What's up, Scout? See the world. Right, little guy? Hmm? What's up? You enjoying the outdoors? You enjoying the outdoors, little buddy? Yes? He's about to pounce off because I'm getting too close. Right, Scout? Am I too close to you? Getting too friendly? What? What's on your mind? Look at me. What's on your mind, bro? Okay. That's enough. He's been harassed enough for a whole month. All right, let's do 20 push-ups. My little corner of space here. Ugh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now he's looking at me like I'm crazy. What are you doing on the floor? He's like, what you doing on the floor, bro? You're not supposed to crawl around. You can stand on 2 feet. Why are you crawling? All right. So there you go. We have 4 cats too. We have 4 cats as well. There we go. 20 push-ups. Okay, we got some good colors in here. I think this one needs to be brightened a little bit. Maybe add in Is that enough for your entertainment, Justina? Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? From the words of the great Russell Crowe, Maximus Aurelius, Maximus Decimus, are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Because if you're not entertained, I don't care. can't believe I just did those push-ups. Well, I love exercise. Exercise is one of my passions in life. It is one of those activities that I pretty much do every day. Exercise is good. Exercise is good for so many things. There's anything, give up painting. Give up, I don't know, I think I would give up painting before I gave up exercise. Now, this is with the caveat, right? Like, if you're like, okay, you can have one thing. Like, obviously, if I lost, I wouldn't, how do I explain this? Like, I don't like to like say these things because, somehow they like become this like wish thing. But if someone was to ask me what I think is more important, exercise or art, I would say exercise is more important. Like, your physical health, right? If I don't have my physical health, I can't really paint to my best ability. And obviously, if I didn't have my physical health, yeah, I would love for the opportunity to paint, right? Like, if I'm at 95 years old and, I can barely walk and I have a choice between going to the gym and painting, I guess I probably would pick painting. But, like, as far as my current situation is, I feel like sometimes I'm trying to explain myself to a wish maker that will horribly grant you the wishes you want if you don't ask for them carefully. But yeah, if I had to give up my physical health or give up art, I would give up art first. But fortunately, life does not request those things of you. Life gives you the opportunity to pursue many things, and that is the beauty, that I can have both, can have it all. We can have it all. You can have it all. Not just me, you. You can have good health and good relationships and creative activities. Only 5, you hope you have passed. Clipsy Tub. Yo, am I almost done? That looks sick. No, I'm not. I probably need at least like another. This will probably be the longest painting it takes me because there's just so many intricate little things that I'll have to change and modify into here. And there's a part of me that realizes like, hey, there's no way I'm gonna get anywhere close to making this as beautiful as the Sistine Chapel. But then there's this part of me that is also like, but how close can I get? Right? How close can I get to not only adding my own spin to it, but also making it look amazing. So that is the challenge that I have for myself with this painting. And that is the challenge I shall run with. And also given, like, I'm not saying it's easier, but the Sistine Chapel is painted on like a 20-foot, no, like 100. Alexa, how big is the painting Creation of Adam in the Sistine Chapel?
From Bartleby.com. In terms of dimensions, the Creation of Adam is 280 centimeters wide and 570 centimeters long, or 9 feet 2 inches wide and 18 feet 8 inches long.
All right, so it's like over 20 feet by 20 feet, which means that that there's a lot more room to like make marks. Like his head is probably like, just the size of this canvas, at least. So he has a lot more room to like make certain marks, whereas I have to use a small brush. But a lot of detail work. At 95, rest in peace, Pope Francis. Yeah, I rest in peace to Pope Francis. My goodness. I mean, I only hope that he lived a good life. I think popes usually live pretty good lives. Right? There's I'd be interested to know if a pope lives a good life. So how do they, I would be curious. Alexa, how do they decide on the next pope?
I don't have an answer for that.
What? Alexa doesn't know how they find the next pope? What am I paying you for, Alexa? How do you not know that answer? All right, let's try to find some more color zones. This guy's got his head right up in his baby's face. Rock, paper, scissors, and all the cardinals vote on the next pope when decide smoke comes out of chimney. Oh, okay. That's cool. Good to know. Good to know. I should be paying Michael Wilbur for this info instead of Alexa. How's that feel, Alexa, huh? To know that you're being displaced by Michael Wilbur. You mess up one question, and now it's, total chaos. Like, I don't know if I could trust you anymore, Alexa. You don't know the answer to one simple question, and, life is over for Alexa. I believe in second chances, though. So, we're going to give Alexa a second chance. If she cannot answer this next question, then, I don't know. I might just have to hijack Michael's brain. I might have to try to secure rights to Michael's brain after he dies and then preserve it so that I can duplicate it into an AI so that I can actually have meaningful answers to the questions that I'm requesting. Michael, I wouldn't do that, by the way. I'm joking. I don't want your brain, man. Your thoughts while you're still living are just enough for me. Any more and I'd probably go crazy. Einstein's brain was hijacked and went to school, cut up into many slides. Yeah, I heard about that. I'd like a piece of Einstein's brain. I'm sure his brain offered many great insights into humans. If anybody knows Michael Jordan, do tell him that I'm making this painting. I know somebody here knows Michael Jordan, or at least we're probably at least no more than like 7 degrees of separation from Michael Jordan, excluding myself. I feel like because I live in Los Angeles and I've worked on like movies and stuff, and I know at least a couple of people who I'm not like totally close with, but like, you know, just by degrees of separation, you know, I feel like I'm no more than like 4 degrees of separation from Michael Jordan. Somebody watching this stream is probably no less than 3. Right? Am I right? Is that possible? Michael Wilbur knows Michael Jordan. I have so many hopes for you, Michael Wilbur. So many hopes and dreams for you. And then this makes me think about like how many times the Sistine Chapel painting was touched up by like a master student. You know, and you know a master student is going to do a better job than the actual like original painter themselves. You know, because when they hire somebody to like do preservation work, that person is like the most technical perfectionist, just as you might want, right? They're the most technical perfectionist you will ever like see, you know? At least that's how they're supposed to hire. But I can imagine whoever touched up the Sistine Chapel probably made it even more perfect than Michelangelo even had in mind. I want to cut off his feet to be right about there. There we go. I'm going to cut off his feet right there. No Diddy party at my place. Good question. It's like Mrs. Doubtfire. Oh man. Don Drell, he's got the best painting references, best art references. The king of references.
Need help with the box.
Why?
It's stuck.
I mean it's stuck. Oh, so Scout, he made the other hole bigger. So now we have 2 holes we gotta worry about. Huh? Yeah, he did that today. Little beast. The beast of burden. If it wasn't for Don Drell, I would never have any insecurities about my paintings. If it wasn't for Don Drell. If you ever need someone to tell you that your painting does not look like what you actually want it to look like, seek Don Drell. Don Drell is the GOAT at that. If you ever want someone to make you feel pressure while you're painting and make you sweat when you mess up, either Omizu or what's his name? I don't even remember his name anymore. Michael Wilbur. Michael Wilbur are the perfect people to make you sweat while you're making mistakes. But I feel like they only make me sweat if I tell them that I'm working on a mistake. But you can kind of tell, like, I'll like get really quiet. I'll get really quiet, and then like I'll start painting over the same eye over and over and over and over again. And that's when you can tell. Like if I get quiet, that's because the only reason I get quiet is because I don't want to say what's on my mind, which is I'm messing up, this looks like crap, and someone's gonna that doesn't sound good, right? That's the only time I get quiet. But that's right. Little does the world know. Let's go. Gotta add in some facial color right here. Yo, Wilbur. The flowing beard that is long, yellow lighting, hello, bolt of lightning. That's Zeus, man. Even I know the difference between modern Western god and ancient Roman gods. All right, there's a difference, and if you don't know it, you shouldn't be painting it. I swear, by the way, I believe this is Eve. And I think Eve looks like Halle Bailey. If anybody knows Halle Bailey, she's the girl that plays the modern Little Mermaid. And I swear this Eve looks just like her. I'm swearing. If you don't believe me, look it up, but if you compare a photo of Eve, the painted Eve, who I think this is Eve, and you look at Halle Bailey, you'll be like, whoa, they're actually, yeah, Emmett's right. They do kind of look alike as far as the painting goes. All right, so we're going to do some painting here. Let's go into this one's face right here. And if God came back today, would he be wearing a robe, a suit, or PJs? Sell yourself, not the painting. My work is very good. Sell myself, not the painting. Oh, brilliant! Even more sales brilliance from Michael Wilbur. Michael, why do you not have a YouTube channel? Like, you say stuff like that. There's this guy on Instagram. His name is Tom Joyce, and all he does is he like shares like this little bit of wisdom, and then he says it's true, and he flips his hat. And he's built a follower. I don't think he actually makes any money, but actually I like what he says. It's really sometimes the things that he says are really goofy, and then other times they're kind of profound, like Michael's wisdom. They're profound. Have a profound effect. And if you were to just say random things like sell yourself, not the painting, you would probably get an audience, Michael. You would definitely get an audience. All right. We find some white, grab some yellow, and find some of this white here. Michael could have his audience and eat his cake too. Let's go like this. We're gonna bring this leg down like right here, and then I'm gonna go bring his leg out. Just this leg.
No, you didn't. Come on.
He said no. Is he saying no?
Oh. Eat the food. Treasure the
I have to make some of this up because I didn't do it perfectly. I came back, Michael Weber, because he's smart. Don't need an audience when you have the world. One day, Michael. One day you're gonna realize how much brilliance you have in your head and that people actually need to hear it. And you're like, oh, I should have started a YouTube channel years ago. I don't know what I've been doing all these years, just sitting around, just giving Emmett all my wisdom, when I could have been profiting off of it. One day, Michael, you shall realize. Speaking of which, I did sell a print. I have sold some prints recently. Let's all celebrate the selling of my prints that are, it's on the link below. But what's wonderful is, my buyers are awesome. That's all I can say. My buyers are awesome. So I find myself continuing to just paint the same part over and over. And what I need to do is not do that. Because here's the thing, there's so much red that I keep getting red on this brush. And I need to, let me see, let me add some of the red into here. I want to reduce this highlight, this white highlight here, to be more of a blended look. And then let's give him some more red. His face is a little bit, it has all these like little brush marks all around. Congrats on the print sales. Thank you, thank you. Maybe I need to switch brushes. Sometimes I feel like I use the same brush for a little too long. So, do I have to fill out anything, or are we good to go for tomorrow?
She's gonna send something via email. She's gonna send it all to me, and yeah, something that you want.
Okay.
And they need your eyeglass prescription. That's the whole thing, just like that. It's minus or plus 275 or 350.
I actually don't know my eyeglass prescription.
Use your contact lens.
Yeah, okay.
Same thing.
Yeah. Oh, well, no, my contacts are a little different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's put this on. And I'll tell you what it's for. Okay, so on screen?
Yeah.
Oh.
More visible. Change Jordan's numbers to white. I'm gonna do a white outline. And I also need to fix this A, but yeah, I'm not gonna change it to white, but I will do an outline. I definitely feel like an outline will help to solidify the numbers. By the way, has everybody seen Omizu's latest painting? Come on, people. I know. I hope everybody has had the opportunity to see or comment on it. Make fun of it. Just kidding. There's nothing to make fun of. There is nothing to make fun of with Omizu's newest painting. It's just absolute brilliance. No critiques possible. It's so great, you can't even begin to critique it.
What you got? Look at you. What have you got?
Trying to use mostly earthy colors for this little area right down here.
Is this white cap? Do you know what this is for?
What's it say?
I don't know.
3 to 4 for best results. It's a litter pop.
Oh, I'm getting this. Oh.
By the way, do you know where that bag is that we took out of my car? And then you said you were going to reorganize because I reorganized it and then you disorganized it?
In the kitchen.
Well, I couldn't find it.
It's that Whole Foods paper bag.
I didn't see it.
It's right in the kitchen. I just saw it a second ago. Over by the toaster. On the floor.
Oh, it's on the floor. I thought that was a garbage bag.
Plus, there's 2 cases of water on the counter
Uh-huh.
that we need you to move to the floor. Right towards the back. If I have to, I'll just drop them.
Do it. Do it. I dare you. I double dare you.
Some of them might break.
I double dog dare you. To just drop them on the floor.
Don't dare me, because I will do it. And I'll have Adam coming up. Whatever his name is.
I need some highlights onto this thing. Let's get some highlights into here. No need for it to be overly...
Stop! No, no, no. Come over here. Scratch my nose. See? Scout. Look at this. Scout. Look. Do this one. See?
I was listening to this interesting YouTuber today. I can't remember her name. She was talking about how art used to be with all the gatekeepers and everything, and how that's changed so much. Just interesting. If I ever find her, if I can find her page again, if she pops up on my stream. I do remember I subscribed. I can't remember. It was a really good, interesting business talk from one artist's perspective about how the game has changed so much, where, you know, dealers used to like say horrible things about people, about the artists, just so they can maintain that maintain the exclusivity with the artists and the buyers. Like, they didn't want, you know, they don't want buyers to, dealers don't want buyers, want artists to know who the buyers are, where the buyers are, right? Because that would mean that they could be skipped in the sale. They want the, you know, the exclusive input. They want the exclusive access. But things have changed, according to this one artist, and things are going for the better, right? Like, any artist can go on social media and connect with buyers. It's amazing. Any artist can do that now. So let's grab some of this. Six-inch brush. Start with a 4-inch brush, 6-inch brush, bring that to gatekeepers. The painting would be done by now if you worked from the background forward. I guess so, huh? I guess that would be the case, Michael. You caught me. I purposely work slow so that I could say that I've worked more hours on this painting. Therefore, I can claim a higher value. Not everything's about speed and efficiency, Michael. What am I, a robot? Not everyone can be as highly conscientious as you. I know you would love it if everyone just made artwork that looked just like yours. But you know, Michael, I don't know why I have to share this lecture right now. But it's not always just your way, Michael. Sometimes other people's ways work too. This isn't the Michael's Way show, although this painting is about Michael Jordan the Great. Honestly, I might even paint over this background again, just to get a feel, just to give it a different feel. You never know. Nothing's ever certain. Let's see, how can I make this green? I'm gonna add some green and then some white. And let's just paint in some green and white here. Bam, look at that. Look at that. How does this change our painting? I don't even know. Let's add some yellow. Make a little platform here. A green platform. This just looks too random. Too random. That's actually not so bad. Just this area right here, on the front of the foot. I need to maybe bring this around the front too, you know? you get into painting, the brush, the direction of the stroke can mean so much. These are always changing and transforming. Gotta be flexible. Go with the flow. Allow things to flow, Michael. And your life shall get more and more wonderful every day.
Dude, right in front of you. You don't want this? No?
He said, nah.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, I don't want it. I want something better. He's like, I want something better.
Yeah, he likes the pellets.
Our cat really said, nah. He said, nah, I don't want that. Give me something better. This area needs some work. Let's go try to tighten up this area here. I just want to make it not look like random. You know, there's got to be some forms.
Knocked you over, didn't she?
Huh?
Yes, she did. Pookie almost knocked Simba over.
She did. She knocked him over.
Almost. It's in line.
Let's add some more yellow here. Yellow always helps to brighten up a space. It's got like an atmospheric effect. I like this. I like where this is at. It's got some atmosphere. Now, you know, the only thing I'm really concerned about at this point actually, you know what? Let me add a little bit of a darkened blue here into the sky. Let's add a little bit of a hint of that's it. Just cool.
Cool. Yeah, cool.
Not epic, not grand, not the greatest painting you've ever seen.
It's nice.
How can I live with someone who doesn't see my greatness? Can't you see that I'm Michelangelo in disguise?
Oh God, I live with a delusional artist. He thinks he's Van Gogh reincarnated.
Can't people see this? By the way, earlier I was just saying how I was giving the heads up of how if you're looking for someone to paint this as good as it was in the Sistine Chapel, this is the wrong channel. My delusions of grandeur are not delusions after all. They're just, it's real. It's real, people. It's real. They are real. It is truth. Alright, let's tighten up these brush marks here. I don't want it to be as, to show the canvas through, it kind of pulls you out of it. More clouds. This is the coolest painting design. Oh, my goodness. Kat was just saying I'm delusional, and now my delusions are coming true.
All right.
Thanks, Bowinator. Let's go. Thank you to all the people in my imagination on my channel right now that make my delusions true. My delusions. You're all imaginary. You're all just figments of my imagination.
I got you. Wanna play? Play for it.
He hasn't seen you all day. Of course he wants to play. You're his favorite.
Think so?
Yes. The only time I ever catch him to bother him is when he's like in the middle of a nap
Oh.
in the afternoon.
What
Huh?
does it like to be disturbed for that?
I know. Whew.
I don't either.
He's always happy to make the losers true. All right. So here we go. I'm gonna grab a different brush. And I'm gonna try to do some more work in here. So, got some of this yellow. I'm gonna mix this with our ochre here. Yellow, and then some ochre. Should give us a nice tone of color for this hair right here. Should help us get some of our blonde colors. Try to keep going with this yellow and this ochre color. And we want to find some of these skin tones that are more like on the yellow side rather than the red side. Which right here, actually none of these skin tones are really on the yellow side compared to the red sides. On the red versus a brown. Red versus a brown ochre. That's where the competition lies. And let's see, we're going to go into this face, add some highlight here. Let's go into Eve's face over here and add some highlight right here. Just to mark out the eye space. And then let's try to find a little bit of this highlight. Go with our yellow. Ah, my neighbor's smoking again.
Yeah, you can smell it. It's so strong.
My neighbor is smoking and it is going into my apartment. Oi. Oi, vey. Oh goodness. My goodness, the neighbors are at it again. So let me get this hand. This is God's hand right here. The God of the soul, or of the people who have chosen him as such. Let me find this pale white so I can nail down his fingers, and we can have this place, this location for his hand. It's gonna come around, it's gonna come out. Let's get this other finger. That was the thumb. Now we got to get a finger. I was happy to make. Yes. All right. Everybody needs a real friend who can act as an imaginary friend. AKA Bonator, my imaginary delusion truth maker, who helps make all my delusions true. My creative delusions. Because without him, I would be just painting. I wouldn't be a great painter. I would just be a painter. I would just be a wannabe YouTube artist. But with just a little bit of someone who can hype you up, you will go places. I mean, everyone's got a hype man, right? Artists need hype people. I actually make a pretty good hype man. I'm a very good hype maker. Which is why I think people are so willing to hype me. And Kat thinks it's funny, but it's not supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be true.
Okay, true should be funny. Funny can be true.
Whew, okay, let's keep this going. Just got it. I definitely am reaching a point like this. They're just like stimulation overload is the sensation that I have a lot of times when I do these paintings with like multiple figures, because my brain can't, like, I mean, I could if I really tried, but you know, like with Michael Jordan, I was like, oh, let me paint one figure at a time, and then I was able to complete the Michael Jordan. To an extent, he's still got some work, but like in general, you get the idea of who he is, what he's doing. But anytime I have like multiple figures, especially right now, it's so easy to just get lost in painting like the same thing over and over painting. Let's add some of our pink into our highlight here. We're gonna go from this shoulder. And then let's go with some pink
Alexa, what time is it?
red that's actually just gonna stand out just a little bit. Did you ever find your iWatch?
No, it's here somewhere. It comes up on the settings. Do I hit location of it? It's here.
You sure?
Kittens would find it.
You know what? I think once I fill out some of the other empty spaces that are still here, once we fill out some more of the empty spaces, things will start to make more sense. But right now, it looks okay. It's just, you know, all these things, so many elements just still unfilled. Like what I'm seeing is different than like what I think, you know, if I was to just observe. Because what I'm seeing is like every area that needs to be completed, right? This is where like the decision making of art in painting can actually get tiring. This is where the part where I get tired. I don't know about other artists, but the thing that overwhelms, right, is this. Oh wow, I gotta paint this area, then I gotta do 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 this area, then I got this spot, and 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 oh look, this spot's not finished yet. And just me saying that, isn't that like exhausting? I think that's why, especially doing the right sketch ahead of time is just so helpful in knowing exactly where everything is laid out. But I have chosen the hard way. I've chosen the hard knock life. And that means that I choose not to do a overly tight preliminary sketch with a pencil, which is the traditional way. You would take a pencil or some graphite, I guess, or whatever, and you would basically plan out every detail, even where you're going to put your shadows ahead of time. And that can be really helpful, but I just chose not to do it that way. I've chosen for that to not be my process. Okay, right. Okay. All right, Pookie, you're coming off that table. Come here. Every time she walks by, she magically smacks her tail on the canvas. She just knows. She just knows. And it wouldn't be so bad if this wasn't oil paint. But I try to limit their interactions with this materials. It's not horrible. It's just, you gotta take care of it. You gotta be conscious that there are risks to working with oils. You know what I could actually do? I can actually just do something confident, and which is adding in where some of the really deep shadows might go. That could be kind of challenging sometimes because although there's no outlines on people, there are deep shadows. If I could nail down some of these shadows, I can really help to speed up my process a little bit, I think. So and now's a good time because I have the majority of this figured out. So I've still spent some time planning, and then now that I'm pretty much done with the planning, I can probably add some subtle outlines in some areas. We'll do this. There's going to be a little gap in the arm here. Very expertly placed gap. What?
Cat on Facebook.
Yo, Clipsy sub, Clipsit sub, Clip sub. What's up, Clip sub? Clipping and subbing. What is that? What is Clipsy? What does Clipsy T sub do? What is Clipsy T sub all about? Tell us a little bit about the this figure we now know as Clipsy T sub. The mystery man or woman. Mystery person. Person of mystery. Clipsy T sub. Let's go right into this leg a little bit. We're gonna go create a shadow right here. He said hi. Clipsy T sub has said hi. Hello, hello, and welcome. Clipsy T sub. There's this little bottom here. I feel like I need to adjust the size of this bottom. And here we go. We're gonna go paint this down, paint this down. Let's go. Definitely gonna have some shadow into here. Did you hear her?
That was Cookie?
She said,
No, somebody else.
She did like a little stomp. She did a stomp. Did you hear her stomp? A little stompy.
So, do you know what your numbers are?
I don't. -4 and 4.25, I think, or they might have increased it the last time I was there. Why? Are you plugging it in for me?
Yeah. So it's 4.
-4.25 and -4.75. I think they might have put -4. How accurate does that have to be? Does that have to be exact?
Doesn't.
Oh yeah, so just say like -4.5 in each eye. Just to make it easy.
4.5.
-4.5. I am pretty much legally blind, people. FYI, for those of you that didn't know. All right, let's get some other skin tones here. I think a goal that I want to have for tonight is just get the majority of this filled out. Which, that's very possible. I can do that. I can do this. We get our pink right here. Gonna go like this.
Chewing on the strings?
Huh?
She's chewing on the strings coming out of the cat tree.
Why would she do that? She's crazy. Crazy cat.
It's crazy.
Insane in the membrane. And just to think that in order to prepare for this, the Sistine Chapel, I mean, Michelangelo probably had to have at least, I want to say there was at least 5 different models that did hundreds of poses that he studied. Maybe not hundreds, maybe like, a good like 40 poses each. I think 40 to 50 poses per person is probably a good amount.
Look at the cats.
Uh-huh. Wow. Well, y'all just went on an adventure, huh? Apparently the phone did not want to stay on. By the way, people, I don't really play basketball or watch basketball. So, if those of you maybe think I'm a huge basketball fan, I mean, I love basketball as a sport, but like I don't really particularly go out of my way to watch it. But this painting, just something called to me to paint this about Michael Jordan. To do this of Michael M.J. Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players to ever live and thrive. And everybody wants to try to claim that title, but it's not easy. Only one person who's actually putting up anything is well, I guess a lot of people are putting up something, but LeBron James, of course.
His son.
His son? Really? No.
What's wrong with his son? Well, he's not a star yet.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's not quite LeBron James or Michael Jordan.
No, but he has his father's genetics.
Okay.
So he'll do very well.
Yeah, he'll do well. He'll probably do well, but he's still a far way off from becoming like Mike.
I know.
Well, that's not... Didn't seem like you knew.
What?
Comment made it seem like, you thought he's the next Michael Jordan. He might be, but I'm saying, like, that's still really far off. I mean, if you had said, like, I don't know, I think he's really far off.
Okay.
It's a little bit outrageous to compare.
Outrageous.
Huh?
I'm outrageous.
It's a little bit outrageous to compare LeBron's James's kid to Michael Jordan right now. A little bit outrageous. The outrage is here. It is outrageous. Alright, let's go like this. Boom, boom, boom. The skin is a little bit more in the shade. What is this madness right here? I think the leg's gonna be made shorter, so I gotta paint over a lot of this to reorganize all this, but in general, I think I got what we want. Going with this. Okay. Give it a little orange glow in here. And this is going to disappear with our purple red material here. So we're going to come out here. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bad, you gotta be stronger. All I know. I don't listen to music while I paint, by the way. I'm sure some of you have already noticed that. Not because I don't like to, but because because of the live streaming, I can't really play music because I don't want to upset the YouTube copyright masters of the world. right, let's see. I think right now we could probably do some outlining and tightening up, hopefully. Let's see about that. Let's try that. Oh, Mizu. Celebrating Mizu. We're gonna do just a slightly off pink, like we've been doing with our white, as we paint through some of this, paint over some of this area. Let's go more white, maybe a little bit of yellow. And here we go, just going to continue building out this color here. See where can we also tighten up. I think we could tighten up around the leg here so it doesn't look like it's expanded out. You can go around here. Go with a clear white here. Go around the subtle curves of the body. It's a little tighter. This leg still looks kind of chunky to me. It's a little chunky.
Fighting?
Somebody's fighting.
Good.
Scout's submitting though. Fern's just lording over him.
Who is Fern?
Fern is lording over Scout.
Okay.
Well, you said stop it. I'm just telling you what's happening.
Did I say stop her?
Isn't that what you said?
I think so.
Oh.
Bother me.
They said stop them.
No. I did not.
Let's see how deep this calf goes. It goes up a little bit, and then in, and then really more just in here. A little bit in here. That leg looks just a little bit more tightened up. Eventually we'll probably just go around. We'll probably have to go through this at least one more time, one or two more times. But let's see, just tightening up our spaces. This doesn't need to come out so far. I think I want to bring our guy's feet. I'm gonna call him our guy. Guy's feet just a little further than this. So I'm gonna tighten this up, bring this over. And bring this up a little bit. We'll have to really paint this over at some point, but for now, gonna work our way around. I actually want to reduce the size of this too. So let me see how I can cut this. I want to cut this just a little bit. So we're gonna have to go boom. Let's just make a choice. Boom. I'm gonna cut this a little much. I'm gonna cut this, paint over this, make this a little smaller. Cut this down to size. I'm gonna shape this in a bit. I'm gonna bring this in just a little bit more. This piece, maybe even more. Let's push this just a bit further. We're gonna cut this even further in. Bring it down a bit further. Gonna have this little round, this little organization here. Now we're gonna bring this in even a little bit further. Doing some modifications. And this is what I want. Yes, a little bit more close to what I feel like is accurate. I'm not going for total perfection, but Pookie, why? Why, Pookie? Stop with the tail in the paint. Huh? No, Pookie. I did. You can tell she's in thought because her tail's flickering back and forth. She's like, oh, I'm gonna get this guy. I'm gonna really lay my paws on his painting next time. She's thinking about it. he's dapping, yeah. That's right. Good old guy doing the dap. Doing the dap, 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 a dap. Dapping a dap. Dapping good old Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player potentially who ever lived. Oh, everything's debatable, but, you know, one of the greatest basketball players ever lived. Alright, so this paint's still wet, so I don't want to mess with this area too much, but it is nice to finally tighten up. You know, get like a nice tight look on some of this area here. And I think we are getting closer and closer every day in every way. We are getting better and better and closer to what we want. And if anyone ever asks, this is not a religious painting. This is a painting that takes two iconic images and brings them together. And yes, I call them images because they're images. I'm not calling them a story as much as it is two iconic images. being gracefully brought together. Or ungracefully. Gracefully or ungracefully. Either way, it works. Alright, so we need pink here. I'm going to go with the pink. I want to bring some pink in these cheeks.
Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 8:58 p.m.
And then this other person also has some pink. I don't know what's gonna go into here, but you know, we're just laying down the color because these are probably the colors that are gonna be here. And we're finished. We are finished with this painting. Just kidding. We got a lot of work to do. Lots and lots of work to do. But oh, look at this one. She's like, I'll show you. I'll show you who can stop me from getting my tail brush on your painting. She's definitely doing that on purpose. She is definitely creating that drama. Alright, let's go. Let's just paint out here around the legs here so we can start to extend the objects surrounding them. Just want to make sure that I fill this in. And then, you know, we can feel good about saving the rest of the night. What's my favorite color combo? What's my favorite color combo? I don't know. Favorite color combo. Not blue and orange. I think my favorite color combo. Maybe some combination of probably the warm colors, reds, yellows. Anything combining red and yellow. Or my favorite complementary color combo is red and green. I love how red and green look. But red, yellow, green, I would say. You know, some mix of red, yellow, and green. If I had to guess. And I say guess. I guess I should know myself, but sometimes I don't always know myself. Sometimes I have to, you know, figure out what I'm thinking. Sometimes I have to figure out what I think. I don't always know. Therefore, I must guess. Alright, gotta give him some big shoulders right here. Blend in these shoulders, give him a shape. Shape out these shoulders a little bit. There we go, some big ol' arms. Got some big arms, this guy. This guy! What do we call this guy? What should we name him? What should we name this guy? Not just any guy. A guy. He's just a guy's guy. Just a guy. This guy. So this is the shoulder. This is the tricep. I'm looking at it, I'm like, there's so much that you could criticize about the dimension, the body geometry, geometrics of this. Oh, you know what? You know what else I want to do? Yeah, I like anything with like reds and greens and yellows. Yellows, reds, greens. I love those color combos. Let me see. Let me tighten up the area around the hand too. Go
Who's bored with the scout?
here. Let's go
Blasé.
clean this up. Did you just call him blasé?
He's acting blasé, like he's not interested in the toy.
Well, he's too cool for toys, okay?
Yes, that's basically what blasé means.
Scout is too cool for school.
Ruki likes the toy, right?
And then eventually we're gonna go paint this down even further, but I want to at least secure the area around our fingertips here. What is my favorite? Good answers? Cool, thank you. Yes, look at these huge hands, man. There needs to be a little bit of space between the basketball and his fingers, so we're gonna tighten that up a little bit. We're gonna reduce the total length of his pointer finger. And let's see, bring this down. Can always increase the size of these fingers a little bit later, but want to at least get this definition down so we can have it later. All right, that's cool. Tighten that up. And then let's see. A couple other things probably need work too. See what we could do about his hair. Maybe we can actually do some stuff about his hair right now. Go into the hair. Go with our white. So he's got a lot of curls in his beard as he was depicted, so, you know, I'm gonna have to save some of those curls for later. This hair looks good from here, but it kind of looks messy on the screen. Oh well. It's all messy. It's all very messy right now. We're just slowly building up our detail. That's what I tell myself, at least. That's what I like to tell myself. We're slowly building it up. We will eventually get it. With oil paint, as long as you just keep going, no matter how bad it looks right now, you will eventually get to where you want to go. Oh, so messy. Let's see. What else can we do a touch up of? Oh, we got to go around here. Got to paint in this little area right here, because I definitely think that this is not going to come out this far. If it does, we'll just paint on top of it. But I don't think it's going to come out this far. So whatever this is, I'm going to paint it down. Paint this down right here. Just so we have this space blocked in, and we've at least cleaned up the area around. Even if we plan to make some changes later, it'll be nice to at least have this area without the white of the canvas showing. Because anytime you know, when I'm painting, I'm like, oh, the white of the canvas is here, the white of the canvas is there, and then what it does is it just distracts you. But I think like once I have like the main space, in the main space, I can really work better. But we'll see. And then eventually we're gonna do another paint over, another layer. This is a multi-layer painting, very different than my usual stuff. I don't always do multi-layers. Always do multiple layers. All right, and you know what? We're gonna take a little break now. We're gonna take a break from this painting, at least. Clean off my brush. And we're gonna prepare another canvas because some of my paint's starting to dry. Alright, so we're going to swap this painting out. Stick this in. Alright. And let's see, I really only have a couple colors right now that are drying up. So I'm gonna use those colors to prepare our canvas. Get a nice big brush. Still haven't got myself a roller yet. But yes, as I said, a lot of my green is starting to dry up, so that's pretty much the color we're gonna use. There's just, as you can tell, this green's gonna leave some chunks. I'll leave some chunks here. Maybe even grab some of this brown. Put it down on the other side here. So you can see that the chunks just kind of come off. So this is just preparing the canvas for another painting. Grab our yellow ochre. Grab some of our red. Try to get rid of these chunks. Eventually, I probably need to do a nice little scrape up of my canvas at some point. This white's still pretty juicy, but let's see what else. Grab as much of the colors as I can. By the way, this is not how you prepare a canvas. This is how I prepare a canvas because I like, I like just seeing what different color combinations can appear, and eventually I use these just to have like something underneath, just to have a color underneath. That's it. Actually, no, I'm going to rotate this. I'm going to rotate this because it's going to get really drippy, and I don't want too much to drip onto my table. I'd rather it drip onto the painting like so. There are no rules. What? How can you not follow the rules of painting? There are rules to painting. If there were no rules, this would just be a hobby that anybody can do. But only the elite can do painting. It's reserved. Those of you that haven't watched my stream long enough, that's my my joking, sarcastic voice. I make voices for for when I pop into elitist mode. My elitist character. Art elitist. That'd be a fun, like, caricature. That'd be a fun caricature to base off of. The elitist artist. The elite art school grad. Who believes art should be reserved for only those who are destined to be artists. I say I like this color. I like where it's at. You know, by the time I'm ready to use this painting, it should be pretty much dried. This section right here has a surprisingly far too much chunks. And I think eventually we will, you know, pull those little chunks off, but for now, I'll leave them on. Okay, let's go a little bit further. We're gonna go across the top and then across the bottom, and we should be good. Wait, y'all can't see all the rules. Oh. So I'm probably not gonna do any more painting after this. I just want to get this surface covered so that we have a surface to paint on. You know, one thing I often forget is I get so excited about painting sometimes that, you know, I don't have a canvas prepared with color, which, you know, if you don't, it's okay if you don't do an underpainting, right? But it makes it so much easier when you have color underneath, especially a color that you actually want underneath. Now, obviously, I'm using this green, which I don't know exactly. You know, once it dries, it actually creates a nice foundation, right, of which to paint on. But if I try to paint on this tomorrow, it'll be too wet, and it actually makes it hard to paint on because it's kind of like it has like a stickiness, which doesn't really, which, you know, it's a little bit too dry to paint and mix paint. Which oil, the beauty of paint, sometimes when you paint on wet paint is that it mixes together, so you can really take advantage of that and come up with your own colors and stuff. But, you know, but once this dries, it gives me like a foundation. Now, you know, if I was planning a full nature scene, I think this would be absolutely perfect. And the best would be to, you know, actually design this out to how I want it, which, I don't know, maybe we could do that now. Let's see. See a little mask right here. Another mask right there. Face and ear. Some hair right here. Another face right here. What do we even see? I don't know. All right, well, anyway. It's ready. It's ready. Ready, Freddy. Ready for a painting, Eddie. It's amazing how just how your brush moves can affect how something looks. You know, just pushing colors around, just the direction of your brushwork can add so much detail.
Come on out of here. Come on. Let's go, Scout. Scout. Let's go.
All right, let's add a couple names in here. There probably won't appear in the final painting. We're gonna say some thank yous. So if you're still here, let's just add some white. Special thanks at the top. Special thanks. And I know Michael Wilbur will probably be like, it's backwards. Special thanks. Oh me. Oh me. We're gonna go MW. Go with the bow. Go with the bow. Nike, if you're watching this and you want me to write the word Nike on here, I can. Just give me $500,000. Who else is here? Let's see. Omi Clipsy. Let's go. Let's add Clipsy here since a new guy or gal. Special thanks, M-Dub, Don Drell. None of them will probably see this, but it's all good. Don. I'm just going to call him Don. Oh, hey, all right. Don, the Don is here. Who's the... We have a couple new friends. Jet J. Just Inna. For some of the viewers of today. Danny E. And that's everybody that came in today. So I'm sure I'm missing people that come in on other days, but that's okay because there are other days to do this. D-A. Danny E. All right. So what's cool is once this dries, whatever painting goes on top of this, I mean, is going to have these letters underneath it forever. Now, it might not be visible, or it might be. It might have like this element of like, you know, it might have some ridges on it that people are going to look closer and they're going to be like, are those names? Who are these people? Who are these people? Who are these? What are these names? I never noticed that in a painting before. You know, 100 years from now. And they're going to have to come back to this live stream that's going to be owned by some mass broadcast company, the estate of Emmett Ferguson. I'm going to come back here and pay $100 to rewatch this live stream to figure out who exactly the names are. That's my vision, people. It's my 100-year plan. Now, if only I can make this painting last for 100 years. We shall see. It's like a time capsule. My paintings are like time capsule. You know what? I should rebrand myself. I could rebrand as the time capsule artist, and people will wonder why time capsule. Well, because each of my paintings is a little capsule of greatness. And by greatness, I mean everybody who has tuned in to. All the top artists of YouTube have tuned in, really, for sure. I know Omizu, when he did his 8-hour live stream yesterday, without a doubt, Omizu is probably one of the best artists on YouTube at some given moment yesterday. Because YouTube does not have enough artists. Like, you know, at one point, Omizu was probably the only live streaming artist yesterday. And if there was a point when he wasn't the only live streaming artist yesterday, there's a chance that he was at least the best. Yes, that's right. So there we go. I have people were here. People are here. All right. So Bowinator's going to sleep. Perfect. Hey, it is getting late. No matter where you lived, except if you're on the if you're in an eastern country, then it's probably getting early. Guess you're probably just waking up. But yes, I need to get ready for bed too. Gotta be up early tomorrow. Almost forgot. Yeah, everyone. All right. Thanks for being here. Take care. Boom, 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 boom. Let's get an outro song. Boom, 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 boom. Sayonara.